They trained for war their whole lives, but in the first few seconds against Earth's veterans, they felt something was wrong. The galaxy had always believed it understood combat. For centuries, powerful alien empires studied war like science. They built massive armies trained in perfect simulations. Every battle was calculated, every move predicted. Victory was expected long before the first shot. Humans were different. They stayed quiet on the edge of galactic politics. They did not boast about victories. They did not display their weapons. Many species believed humans were weak. Some believed they were afraid. That belief was why the coalition chose to attack. The grand battlefield formed near a broken star system. Metallic debris floated like dead planets. Alien fleets filled the dark with glowing engines. Their commanders watched from secure platforms. They felt confident, calm, almost bored. Then the humans arrived. There were fewer human ships than expected. No bright colors, no threatening signals. Their vessels moved slowly with purpose. Alien analysts laughed quietly. This would be quick. On the ground, the first human unit deployed. Earth's veterans stepped onto alien soil. Their armor was worn, marked by past wars. Their movements were slow and controlled. They did not rush. They did not speak much. Alien soldiers watched through scopes. These humans did not look impressive. They were not tall. They were not glowing. They did not roar. An alien commander gave the order to advance. Alien troops moved in perfect formation, their weapons raised together, their steps measured and precise. This was how combat was done. This was mastery. The humans did not react. They stood still. Some knelt. Some scanned the terrain. Their leader lifted a hand and waited. The alien commander felt irritation. Why were the humans not afraid? The order to fire was given. Energy bolts tore through the air. Dust exploded around the human line. The alien troops expected panic. They expected chaos. None came. The humans moved. It was not fast. It was not loud. It was exact. Earth's veterans broke formation instantly. Each soldier moved to cover without command. They spread out using the terrain. Rocks wrecked shadows. Alien fire began to miss. Human weapons answered. The sound was different. Short, controlled bursts. No wasted movement. No wasted shots. The first alien unit fell before they understood what happened. Alien commanders stared in silence. This was not in the simulations. The humans were not charging. They were hunting. On the ground, alien soldiers began to feel fear. They had trained for enemies that rushed, enemies that screamed, enemies that followed rules. These humans did none of that. Earth's veterans advanced slowly, step by step. Every movement had meaning. Every angle was covered. One alien squad tried to flank. They were gone moments later. Another unit attempted to retreat. The humans anticipated it, cutting off escape paths. No orders were shouted. No signals were seen. Yet the humans worked as one. The alien commanders began issuing rapid commands, changing strategies, adjusting formations. Nothing worked. The humans adapted faster. One alien officer finally understood. These humans were not fighting a battle. They were fighting a memory. Each veteran carried wars inside them. Cities lost. Friends buried. Survival learned the hard way. This was not theory. This was experience. The alien coalition began to lose control of the field. Communication broke down. Units hesitated. Fear spread. The human leader watched quietly, his face hidden behind a scarred visor. He had seen this before, many times, on many worlds. He raised his hand again. The humans paused. Alien commanders felt a strange relief. Perhaps the attack was over. Then the human leader spoke calmly. Advance. Earth's veterans moved forward together, not rushing, not stopping. The ground battle had only begun, but already the galaxy had made its first mistake. They thought they had mastered combat. They had never faced Earth's veterans. The alien coalition expected the humans to slow down. They believed the first clash was only luck, a strange accident in the chaos of war. They were wrong. After the first human advance, the battlefield changed. The air felt heavy. Alien soldiers no longer moved with confidence. Their formations broke into cautious steps. Their weapons stayed raised longer than planned. Earth's veterans kept moving. They did not celebrate. They did not shout. They did not chase. They advanced like a storm that did not rush. Alien commanders ordered a full counterpush. Heavy units moved forward. Armored walkers shook the ground. Sky drones filled the air. This was meant to end the humans. The veterans stopped again. They waited. Alien soldiers could not understand this behavior. Every rule of combat said attack when you have momentum. But humans waited. The alien assault began. Energy fire poured across the field. The sky burned with light. The ground cracked under heavy weapons. Human positions vanished under smoke. Alien commanders felt victory returning. Then the smoke cleared. The humans were gone. Panic spread instantly. Earth's veterans had melted into the terrain. They were no longer a line. They were everywhere. Alien units began falling from the sides, from behind, from places that were impossible. Human weapons struck weak points. Sensors, power cores, communication nodes. Alien technology failed one system at a time. A walker collapsed, then another. Alien soldiers tried to regroup, but orders no longer reached them. The battlefield became silent, except for human movement. Earth's veterans appeared briefly, then disappeared again. Each appearance meant loss. An alien squad hid behind wreckage. They're breathing fast, their weapons shaking. They had trained for courage. They had trained for bravery. They had not trained for fear that creeps slowly. A human shadow crossed the smoke. Then another. The squad never fired. Far above the battlefield, alien fleet commanders argued. They demanded explanations. They demanded new data. There was none. Human behavior did not fit any model. The humans were not fighting to win quickly. They were fighting to control everything. On the ground, a young alien officer tried to rally his unit. He spoke loudly. He promised honor. A human round ended his words. Silence followed. Earth's veterans moved closer now. Their pace steady. Their presence crushing. They allowed the aliens to see them. This was intentional. Alien soldiers realized something terrible. The humans wanted them to feel this moment. Every step forward was pressure. Every pause was dread. Some alien units dropped weapons. Others fired wildly. None escaped. The human leader watched the field. He remembered other wars. Other enemies who believed themselves superior. They always learned the same way. Humans advanced in pairs, covering each other, never exposed, never careless. They used hand signals, small movements, silent understanding. This was not taught in simulations. This was learned in blood. Alien Command ordered orbital support. Desperate now, human sensors detected it instantly. The veterans changed movement, spreading wider, marking targets. Human ships responded from orbit. Precise, measured. Alien support vanished before it could strike. On the ground, hope left the alien forces. Some tried to flee. Humans cut off routes. Some tried to hide. Humans flushed them out. There was no escape from experience. One alien commander finally understood. Humans were not fearless. They were familiar with fear. They had lived inside it. They had survived it. The humans used fear as terrain, as weapon, as guide. Earth's veterans reached the center of the field, where the alien command unit stood. The alien commander stared at them. These beings looked tired, scarred, human. He asked one question. Why? The human leader answered simply. Because we have done this before. The alien commander lowered his head. Part 2 ended with a truth spreading across the battlefield. This was not a war the galaxy could win. The alien coalition did not admit defeat. Not yet. Pride was heavier than fear, and the galaxy had too many eyes watching. After the second clash, the coalition pulled its survivors back. They formed a new line around a ruined alien relay tower, a tall structure made of black metal and ancient glass. It carried signals across the sector. If it fell, their fleets would be blind. Their worlds would be silent. So they decided to make their stand there. In orbit, the coalition gathered more ships. War chiefs from 5 species arrived, each one famous. Each one certain the humans could still be broken. They called it the final correction. They believed they had learned enough about the human style. They were wrong again. Down on the ground, Earth's veterans moved through the ruins. Their boots stepped over shattered armor. Their eyes scanned every shadow. They spoke little, but their silence was not empty. It carried focus. The human leader, named Ronan, watched the relay tower from a distance. He studied the terrain, the broken streets, the collapsed bridges, the melted craters. He did not see a fortress. He saw a map of fear. The coalition defended the tower with layered weapons. Sniper nests, drone swarms, mines, heavy cannons, and one new weapon they did not use before, a pulse barrier. It was invisible until it activated. Then it flashed like a wall of lightning. It could stop bullets, stop drones, stop anything moving fast. The alien war chief smiled. Now the humans would finally be forced into direct combat. The veterans reached the edge of the kill zone and stopped. They watched. Minutes passed. Alien troops waited behind the barrier. They were tense but hopeful. They believed the humans could not cross. They believed the humans would rush and die. Ronan lifted 2 fingers. A simple signal. 3 veterans moved left into the rubble. 2 moved right into broken vehicles. 1 climbed higher into a ruined building. Then nothing happened. The aliens grew confused. They could see humans, but not an attack. They began to doubt their own sensors. Then the tower lights flickered. Inside the relay structure, alien engineers screamed. Their systems were being accessed. Not hacked in a loud way, not forced, but entered calmly, like a key turning in a lock. The coalition war chiefs shouted orders. They demanded their technicians explain. No one could. The tower began to broadcast strange signals. Old codes, human codes. The pulse barrier flickered again. A brief weakness, like a heartbeat skipping. Ronan watched without surprise. The veterans did not run. They walked, slowly, straight toward the barrier. Alien gunners fired everything. The air filled with energy bolts. The ground shook from cannons. The pulse barrier flashed and stopped the first wave. Then it failed for half a breath, and the humans were already there. They stepped through as if they were born in the gap. Not fast, not reckless, perfectly timed. Alien soldiers panicked. They tried to raise weapons, but human fire came first. Close range, controlled, merciless. The barrier returned, cutting off sight, but it was too late. The veterans were inside the defensive zone. Alien commanders screamed to activate inner mines, but mines triggered nothing. They were already disarmed. That was the moment fear became certainty. The humans were not reacting. They were arriving. An alien captain grabbed a communicator, demanding orbital strike permission. A war chief refused. The tower must not be destroyed. The tower was sacred. The tower was strategic, and the humans knew it. Earth's veterans used that weakness. They moved deeper into the defense, taking positions that forced the aliens to hold fire, because every missed shot could hit their own tower. Ronan moved with his unit through a narrow street. Smoke covered them like a cloak. His soldiers communicated with taps on armor. Small signals. 1 touch meant danger. 2 meant move. 3 meant wait. They reached a broken plaza where the coalition had stored ammo. Large crates stacked under shields. A young alien guard saw them and froze. He expected monsters. He saw tired humans. He saw eyes that had seen too much. He lowered his weapon. Ronan did not shoot him. He simply passed, as if the guard was already defeated. The guard collapsed to his knees, shaking, because mercy from a veteran felt worse than death. It meant the human believed you were not worth a bullet. Inside the relay tower, the alien engineers tried to shut systems down, but their own locks turned against them. Doors sealed. Elevators stopped. Security drones switched targets. Human veterans were not only on the battlefield. They were in the tower itself. The war chiefs realized the truth. Humans had infiltrators. Humans had veterans trained for silent war too. The tower began broadcasting again. A message repeated across open channels. So every ship could hear. So every soldier could hear. So the whole galaxy could hear. It was short, calm, and terrifying. Leave now, or we finish this lesson. The coalition war chiefs refused. Their pride screamed louder than survival. They gave the final order. Release the chain beasts. From hidden bays under the tower, massive alien creatures were unleashed. Armored, engineered, hungry, built to tear infantry apart. The ground trembled as they charged toward the human positions. Ronan watched them through smoke. He did not flinch. He raised his hand one more time, and the veterans switched weapons. Not bigger, not louder, different. The beasts reached the first human line and stopped. Their legs failed. Their bodies locked. Their eyes went blank, because the humans had already poisoned the air. A silent weapon, built for war that lasts too long. Alien soldiers stared in horror. Their ultimate weapon had died without a fight. The war chiefs felt cold panic for the first time. Not fear, panic. Ronan stepped onto a pile of rubble, looking at the relay tower, and then at the alien line. His voice was low, steady. Now you understand. Combat is not mastery. Combat is memory. And with that, the veterans advanced again, closer to the tower, closer to the heart of the coalition. And the coalition finally realized this was not a battle anymore. It was a countdown. The coalition war chiefs watched their plans collapse. The relay tower was still standing, but their confidence was shattered. And worse than shattered, it was exposed. News spread across the sector. Humans were not just winning. Humans were teaching. Every ship, every outpost, every civilian channel repeated the same fear. Earth's veterans were walking forward, and nothing could stop them. So the coalition did what proud empires always do. They searched for a shortcut, a secret weapon, a single move that could erase shame. They found one. Deep under the relay tower, there was a buried chamber, older than the coalition itself. An ancient vault from a forgotten species. The war chiefs called it the Quiet Tomb, a place their scouts warned them never to open. But fear makes leaders ignore warnings. Inside that chamber was a device, a black sphere held in a ring of dead metal. It did not glow. It did not hum. It simply felt wrong. Their scientists said it was a mind breaker, a signal weapon, capable of turning disciplined soldiers into panicking animals, capable of ending a ground war without firing a shot. The war chiefs smiled again. This time it was not pride. It was hunger. They ordered the device activated. On the battlefield, Ronan felt it before anyone explained. The air seemed to tighten, as if sound itself became heavy. His helmet's sensors showed nothing, but his instinct screamed. The veterans stopped moving, not from fear, from awareness. One soldier whispered through the team channel, "Something is coming." Ronan answered calmly, "Spread out. Check your breathing. Stay on your anchor." Anchor was an old veteran word. It meant hold your mind to something real. A memory, a voice, a simple routine. The coalition activated the mind breaker. At first, nothing happened. Then the world shifted. Alien soldiers around the tower screamed. Some dropped weapons. Some ran. Some cried. Even their own troops were not protected. The mind breaker did not choose sides. It only wanted minds. Earth's veterans felt the wave hit them. A sudden pressure behind the eyes. A cold memory trying to enter. Like drowning without water. Some veterans stumbled, their hands shaking, their vision narrowing. The coalition commanders cheered from orbit. They watched humans slow down. They believed the lesson would end. But then something strange happened. The veterans did not collapse. They knelt. They pressed fists into the dirt. They breathed in patterns, slow and steady. Ronan looked at his soldiers, and he saw something the coalition could not understand. Humans had lived with mind-breaking pressure before, not from alien tech, from loss, from trauma, from long wars that never left the head. They had learned how to survive their own minds. The mind breaker tried to show them fear. They had already met fear. It tried to show them hopelessness. They had already crawled through hopelessness. It tried to show them screams. They had already buried the screams. Ronan spoke through the channel, low and clear. "Name your ground. Say it out loud." One veteran said steel. Another said rain. Another said home. Another said brothers. Each word was a rope. The wave continued. Harder now. the device pushing deeper, searching for cracks. And it found one. A new soldier on the human side, a fresh recruit named Leo. He was not a veteran. He was assigned to support, to carry supplies, to learn. The wave hit him like a wall. He froze, his eyes wide, his breath stolen. His mind showed him images that were not his. Burning cities, dead faces, screaming children. It was not memory. It was weaponized terror. Leo dropped his pack and backed away. He could not hear Ronan. He could not hear anything except the fear. Alien spotters saw the moment. They transmitted it to the war chiefs. Humans are breaking. Push now. The coalition sent in a new assault force. Elite units in polished armor. They moved fast, believing the humans were stunned. They ran straight into the veterans. Because the veterans were not stunned. They were waiting. Ronan signaled 2 fingers. Hold. Then 1 finger. Strike. Human fire erupted in perfect timing. The elite units fell in seconds. Their perfect armor useless against veteran aim. But Leo was still frozen, still trapped inside the terror wave. Ronan moved toward him through smoke. Bullets snapping past. The mind breaker still pressing, trying to crush both of them. Ronan grabbed Leo by the shoulder and pulled him behind cover. Leo tried to pull away, his eyes full of panic. He thought Ronan was an enemy. He thought everything was enemy. Ronan spoke close to his helmet. Simple words. You are here. You are breathing. Count with me. Leo shook, tears inside his visor. He could not control his hands. Ronan counted slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leo copied him. Not perfectly, but enough. The terror wave weakened for Leo. Just a little, like a door opening in a locked room. Ronan said again, You are here. Name your ground. Leo forced a word out. Sand. Ronan nodded. Good. So it means you are real. The coalition war chiefs watched this through drones. They felt anger. Their mind breaker should have ended this. They increased power. The device screamed in frequencies no ear could hear. The air shimmered. Even stone seemed to vibrate. Alien troops collapsed again. Many died from shock. Their brains overloaded. The war chiefs did not care. They wanted humans broken, even if it cost their own. Ronan felt the pressure spike. His vision blurred. His knees almost buckled, but he smiled behind his visor because he recognized the mistake. The coalition was willing to burn its own soldiers. That meant desperation, and desperation meant they were blind. Ronan opened a secure channel to orbit, to the human fleet. Target the source. Non-lethal strike on the vault. Now, human ships had been waiting for this request. They fired a focused pulse. Not explosive, not loud. A surgical beam that cut through layers of rock. Deep under the tower, the ancient chamber cracked open. The ring around the black sphere broke. The mind breaker stuttered, then died. The battlefield became quiet, as if the universe took a breath. Alien troops looked around confused, not sure if they were alive. Earth's veterans rose slowly, like shadows standing back up. Leo stood too, still shaking, but standing. Ronan looked at the relay tower again, and then at the alien line. His voice went out on open channels, steady and cold. You used fear. We live with it. Now we finish this. And the veterans advanced, closer than ever, while the coalition war chiefs realized the truth. They had opened an ancient tomb, and it still did not save them. The mindbreaker was gone, but the damage remained. Alien soldiers stared at the ground, their hands trembling, their pride broken into pieces too small to rebuild. Above them in orbit, the coalition war chiefs argued, their voices sharp and desperate. They blamed each other. They demanded one more plan, one more weapon, one more chance. And then the humans did something the galaxy did not expect. They stopped, not because they were tired, not because they were afraid, but because Earth's veterans understood timing. Ronan stood on a ridge of shattered metal, watching the relay tower, watching the coalition line, watching the sky where the enemy fleet hovered like a storm. He spoke to his unit. Simple calm. They will do something worse now. The veterans spread out again. taking positions without noise. Each soldier knew where to be, as if the battlefield itself whispered directions to them. Inside the relay tower, alien engineers tried to repair systems. They were crying, not from pain, from shame. They had believed technology was enough. The war chiefs sent a final transmission to the humans, a message full of threats. Leave this sector, or we erase your world. Ronan listened, then ignored it. The war chiefs had already chosen their worst plan, and the humans could feel it coming. In the black space behind the coalition fleet, a new ship arrived. Huge and silent, its hull shaped like a blade. Ancient markings carved into it. Not coalition design, not even modern design. A relic dreadnought. The war chiefs had hidden it for emergencies. A weapon from an older era, powered by a core that could crack moons. It was forbidden by every treaty. But pride does not care about treaties. As the dreadnought entered orbit, the coalition fleet regained courage. They began firing in the air, celebrating, shouting across channels. Earth is finished. Humans are finished. Ronan watched the sky, and he felt only focus. He contacted the human fleet again. Do not engage it head-on. Hold distance. Keep it talking. A voice from orbit asked. Talking. Why? Ronan answered. Because the veterans are going to kill it from the inside. The plan was simple and terrifying. While fleets distracted the dreadnought, a small human boarding craft would slip through debris, attach to the hull, and send a veteran team inside. Not a team of Marines, not a team of heroes, a team of survivors. Leo, the young support soldier, heard the plan. His breath caught. He was still shaking from the mindbreaker, but his eyes stayed on Ronan. Ronan looked at him. You do not have to go. Leo swallowed, then said, I want to learn. Ronan nodded once, then said, stay close. Copy what we do. The boarding craft launched, a tiny shadow against the massive warship. Alien sensors detected it late. Their commanders laughed. A small craft against a dreadnought. Then the craft disappeared behind debris, and the laughter faded. Inside the boarding craft, the veterans checked weapons. Not heavy, not flashy. Compact tools, cutters, silent rifles, signal jammers, a few small charges. Leo looked at them and expected excitement, but there was none. They prepared like workers, like people doing a job they had done too many times. Ronan spoke quietly. Once inside, we do not chase. We do not rush. We control. The craft touched the dreadnought hull. Magnets locked. Cutters opened a clean hole. No alarms yet. The veterans entered a dark corridor. Alien symbols glowing faintly on walls. Air cold like a tomb. The ship felt old. Hungry. Alive. Then alarms began. Low and deep. Like a beast waking up. Alien security drones rushed in. Floating fast. Weapons charged. The veterans did not run. They moved to corners. They waited one heartbeat. Then fired. Drones dropped. Silently. One after another. Leo stared. They did not miss. They did not panic. They did not waste shots. Ronan motioned forward. They moved through corridors. Past sealed doors. Past power conduits. Ronan paused often, placing small devices. Jammers. Trackers. Quiet traps. The dreadnought responded. Lights shifted. Doors locked. Vents released cold gas. The ship was trying to kill them. Like a living fortress. One veteran, named Mara, placed her hand on a wall, feeling vibration, then pointed left. They went left and avoided an ambush. Leo realized something. These people were not only soldiers. They were hunters. They read the ship like terrain. The war chiefs in orbit began to charge the dreadnought core. A weapon beam forming, aiming toward the human fleet, toward the planet below. They believed their dreadnought was safe. Inside the ship, the veterans found the core chamber entrance. A massive sealed gate. 2 alien guards stood there, taller than humans, armored, confident. Ronan stepped forward, not hiding, not rushing. One guard raised a weapon, then hesitated, because the humans looked too calm, too close. Ronan fired first. One shot. The guard dropped. Mara fired. Second guard dropped. The gate began to open automatically. because the humans had already hacked the lock from a device placed earlier. Leo felt chills. Everything was planned, even the gate. The core chamber opened, and light flooded the corridor. A pulsing energy sphere hung in the center, contained by ancient rings. It hummed like a heartbeat. The dreadnought core. Alien engineers inside the chamber screamed. They grabbed tools. They tried to shut systems down, but their hands were shaking. Ronan raised a weapon. Not at them, at the control node. He fired. The node died, and the chamber went into emergency lockdown. The engineers were trapped, but alive. Leo expected Ronan to threaten them. Ronan did not. He only said, "Stay down." Then Ronan placed charges on 3 points. Not to explode the core. That would destroy everything, including them. These charges were shaped to disable the containment ring, to shut the dreadnought down, to make it a dead metal shell. Outside in orbit, the war chiefs saw their weapon charge dropping. They screamed at systems. They demanded answers. Inside the core chamber, the containment ring flickered. The energy sphere dimmed. The dreadnought groaned, like a dying giant. And then the ship went silent. No hum, no power, no weapon. A dead relic drifting in space. Leo looked at Ronan, eyes wide. "You did it." Ronan answered calmly. "We finished the lesson." But the suspense was not over, because the coalition war chiefs were now truly cornered. And cornered leaders do not surrender quietly. Their final move was coming, and it would not be a weapon. It would be a choice. The battlefield did not end with cheering. It ended with silence. A silence so deep it felt heavier than war. Alien soldiers stayed where they were, weapons on the ground, heads lowered, not defeated by force, but by truth. Earth's veterans did not advance. They did not claim victory. They simply stood watch. Above the planet, coalition ships drifted without order. Some powered down, some slowly turned away. No one wanted to be the next to move. Ronan walked through the ruins, past alien troops who did not look at him, past burned machines and shattered stone. His steps were steady, not proud, not angry. Leo followed close, still shaken, still learning. He looked at the aliens kneeling. "Why are we not taking them prisoner?" Ronan answered quietly. "Because the war already took everything from them." Inside, the relay tower engineers worked again, repairing systems, restoring signals. This time under human protection, but without threats. The tower came back online. Slowly, carefully. The first broadcast went out across the sector. "The war is over." Every world heard it. Every fleet paused. Every ruler listened. Images followed. Not human propaganda. Raw battlefield recordings. Alien commanders exposed. Human restraint shown. The galaxy watched and learned. On the coalition command ship, the remaining war chiefs sat in darkness. Their power gone. Their authority shattered. One of them whispered, "We were wrong." Another answered, "We did not understand humans." They opened a channel, not to threaten, not to bargain, to ask, "What do you want?" The question echoed across space. The galaxy waited for the answer. Ronan stood beneath an open sky. Smoke drifting above. Stars returning to view. He opened the channel. "We want nothing." The war chiefs were confused. Ronan continued, "We came because you chose war. We stayed because you chose lies. Now you will choose what comes next." Silence followed again. Then the war chiefs lowered their heads and ordered a full withdrawal. Coalition ships turned away from the planet. Jump drives warming. Fleets retreating. No traps. No final strikes. Just leaving. The galaxy saw something it had never seen before. A dominant alliance walking away. Not because it was destroyed, but because it understood it could never win. Earth's veterans began extraction. Ships descending. Teams regrouping. Leo boarded with the others. His body tired. His mind full. As the ship lifted, he looked down. At the battlefield. At aliens helping their wounded. At humans leaving without claiming land. He asked Ronan, "Will they try again?" Ronan looked out at the stars. "Maybe, but not soon." Leo asked, "Why?" Ronan answered, "Because now they know what waits for them." The human fleet jumped away, leaving the relay tower intact, leaving alien space unchanged. But the impact spread. Stories moved faster than ships. Across academies, across command halls, across war colleges, they studied the battle. They replayed it. They slowed it down. And they reached the same conclusion. Humans were not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most advanced, but they were the most experienced. They did not fight wars to prove something. They fought wars to end them. Years later, a new rule spread quietly. Never corner humanity. Never mock their silence. Never test Earth's veterans. Because combat can be learned. Strategy can be copied. Technology can be stolen. But memory cannot. On a distant human world, Ronan stood at a quiet field. No armor. No weapons. Leo stood beside him. Now stronger. Now calmer. The war felt far away. But not gone. Leo said, "They will remember this forever." Ronan nodded. Good. Because humanity did not want fear. It wanted space to exist. And the galaxy learned that day. They thought they mastered combat until they faced Earth's veterans and understood what mastery truly meant.